Please be aware this was recorded during the closed beta, which means things could change, numbers may be tweaked, and I will add captions to this video if they do. However, I do not expect playstyles to change, but I will come back and redo the guide if required. Symmetra, aka Satya Vaswani, uses the power of traditional Indian dance to weave hard-like constructs and create anything from cities to weapons. Honestly, I'm not making this up. She uses dance to create objects from light. Let's get into her abilities and find out what it's all about. Symmetra's weapon is her Photon Projector. The left click is a short-range beam weapon with increasing damage. This beam only has a 5-meter range and starts at 30 damage per second, but as long as the enemy stays in range, the beam will lock onto them until the button is released or if Symmetra looks away from the target. The damage will double for every second the beam is channeled, up to a maximum of 120 damage per second. The damage level of the weapon can be seen on the back of the Photon Projector, and when not damaging an enemy, the power level will dissipate after 3 seconds. The right click, hold to charge, then release to launch a projectile. This consumes ammo at 10 per second, up to 20 to create a slow travelling orb that does a maximum of 125 damage. The amount of ammo consumed does not affect the orb's speed, and the power level increased by the left click does not affect the orb's damage. The orb will pass through all enemies, including shields from Reinhardt or Winston, and will deal the orb's full damage to any enemy hit until it hits a wall or object. Barriers from Zarya will stop the damage, but the orb will continue. You cannot score a headshot with either firing mode. Symmetra's shift ability is Sentry Turret. Deploy a small turret that damages and slows enemies. Symmetra can have a maximum of 6 turrets on the map at one time, and she can hold a maximum of 3 waiting to be deployed. They deal 25 damage per second and have a 10-meter range and slow the target's movement speed. If multiple sentries attack the same target, the damage and slow will be multiplied by the number of turrets attacking. The turrets only have 1 HP, so they are easily destroyed. Symmetra's E ability is Photon Shield. Give shield to an ally. This has a 20-meter range and will provide an ally with a 50 HP shield. The shield will last until the ally dies, always recharging if the ally is not attacked for 3 seconds. Once an ally has a shield, the option to target them with E is no longer available. Symmetra's ultimate is Teleporter. Deploy a teleporter that connects to the spawn room. This does exactly what it says on the tin. When the teleporter is placed, a counterpart will appear in the friendly spawn room that allies can use. It only works one way. You cannot use the teleporter to port back to the spawn room. The teleporter has 200 HP and will provide 6 teleports before it disappears. The number of teleports remaining is displayed on the bottom of your screen. While the teleporter is active, you will not gain ultimate charge. That's the abilities, so when should you play Symmetra? She is a situational hero whose worth is equal to the distance her teleporter covers. As a rough rule of thumb, this means she is good at the start of a map when defending, but she is less valuable if you are pushed back, and the end of a map when attacking, but she does very little at the start. She is stronger on defense as her sentries can do a lot of work, but they do not do much unless the enemy has to come to you. The teleporter really is the key, so she's valuable in any team comp as long as she can charge her ultimate quickly. She does have some synergy with Lucio, as getting on point to set up your sentries more quickly can make a big difference. Symmetra can often hold a flank by herself. This is great if the enemy are running heroes like Genji, Tracer or Reaper. Find a confined area they will need to come through if they want to get to your back lines and set up your turrets. Don't place them too closely together, as their 1 HP makes them easily taken out by any spread weapons. Once set up, wait close by to add some extra DPS from your Photon Projector. You should save 1 or 2 sentries to go a little behind your main Rumo death in case a Tracer or Genji manage to dash out, so the slow will help you run them down. The slow from the sentries can be very useful to help your team land their damage, so you can place them around a main choke or scatter them through the area you're defending. Just make sure they cannot easily be taken out from range by the enemy. You will receive a visual notification if any of your sentries attack an enemy or are destroyed. This means you can use them to track enemy movements. Great for notifying any friendly snipers that someone might be coming for them, although this does require you to communicate with your team. Make sure to get Symmetra's shield on all of your allies as quickly as possible, but do not sacrifice time to set up your sentries when running from the spawn at the start of the game. You can get those shields up as you're running, but once you've placed your first couple of sentries, you can then make sure no one was missed. This means your sentries will start refilling back up to their maximum stock of 3 as quickly as possible. Of course, if your team know what they're doing, they will come to you and ask for a shield. Charging Symmetra's ultimate is the #1 priority. The sooner that teleporter is up, the less impact any ally deaths will be. Any downtime you have should be used to spam fully charged photon orbs at the enemy. They do travel very slowly, but with the ability to penetrate shields and the chaos of battle, they will hit enemies more often than you'd think. The incredibly short range of Symmetra's photon beam and slow travel speed and charge rate of her photon orbs make her very weak if she is on her own or without her sentry turrets. If you are able to get in close to an enemy, you can take advantage of the lock-on photon beam and jump around them so they cannot hit you back. But without any mobility abilities, getting in close is very difficult to do. Especially watch out for Junkrat, Pharah and Zarya. Their splash damage can take out Symmetra's sentries without having to walk into her trap. Winston can also destroy a well-laid death room without too much strain. Once your ultimate is charged, get that teleporter down as quickly as possible. Find somewhere a little out of the way so that the enemy do not easily find it and destroy it. In a perfect world, you can place it somewhere that can also be defended by your team, but when playing solo, you can't always guarantee that. And that about wraps up Symmetra. Charge her ultimate with well-placed sentry turrets and photon orb damage, then set up and protect a teleporter so your team can stay in the fight. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click that like button. If you have any questions or disagree with anything said, please put it in the comments below. I'm intending to have all 21 release heroes covered before the game is out on May 24th, so subscribe to get all that future content. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon.